So what if I told you there's a single certification that could unlock major enterprise deals and build, that unbreakable customer trust? It's called ISO 27001. Now, I know it sounds super technical, but it's actually a powerful tool for growth. Let's break down exactly how it works and why it is so critical for your business.
Okay, picture this. Your sales team, they're inches away from closing a game-changing deal. I mean, the product is a perfect fit, the price is right, and then boom, the deal just stalls. There's this hidden hurdle that so many businesses never even see coming, and it can stop your growth dead in its tracks. And look, this is not some hypothetical scenario. This is happening right now. Companies, maybe even your competitors, are losing out on huge contracts just because they can't check one little box on a security questionnaire. It is a silent, but believe me, it is an incredibly effective deal killer.
Let's be really clear here. This is not about just following rules to keep the auditors happy. Lacking this certification puts a hard ceiling on your company's growth. It directly hits your bottom line. It's a strategic issue that, frankly, belongs in the boardroom, not just filed away in the IT department.
So now that we've seen the problem, and it's a big one, let's flip the script and look at the solution. What exactly is this standard that holds so much power in the business world?
To put it simply, ISO 27001 is the global gold standard for information security. It's not a piece of software you install, it's a complete framework, what's called an Information Security Management System, or ISMS. Think of it as a systematic approach to protecting your company's and, more importantly, your customers' most valuable data.
Okay, so we know what it is, but let's get into the why. Why should this be a top priority for your business right now? Let's break down the tangible impact it can have.
This really boils down to two completely different realities for a business. Without it, you're constantly looking over your shoulder, facing high breach risks, getting blocked from those big deals, and just struggling to earn customer trust. With it, you're sending a powerful signal. You have proactive security, you're enterprise ready, and you can prove that you're trustworthy in a really tangible way. The difference is just night and day.
And the direct benefits? Well, they stack up pretty fast. You win bigger deals, you build a solid reputation for being reliable, and you fundamentally reduce the risk of a data breach that could cripple you. But it's more than that. The process of getting certified actually creates a security-first mindset throughout your whole organization. It makes security everyone's job, and that, right there, is absolutely critical for long-term stability. All right, I know what you might be thinking. Getting certified sounds like a huge mountain to climb. And yeah, it can seem daunting, but it is a totally manageable process when you break it down. So let's walk through that journey step by step.
It all follows a pretty logical progression. First, you define the scope, which parts of your business actually need to be covered. Then you get to the real work. You assess your risks, and you implement the system and the controls. After that, you do an internal audit to test everything yourself, kind of like a dress rehearsal. And finally, you bring in the external auditor for that official stamp of approval. And now for the practical questions that everyone is really asking. What's this going to cost? How long is it going to take? And what can go wrong? Let's get real about the investment and the common roadblocks you might hit. So typically, you're looking at a timeline from start to finish of about 6 to 9 months. Costs can definitely vary, especially for that initial prep work. But the audit itself has a pretty clear price range. And it's really important to remember this is not a one-and-done project. There are ongoing surveillance audits every year to make sure you're staying on track and maintaining your certification. The biggest tripwires in this whole process are rarely technical. They're almost always organizational. The most common mistakes are things like not getting full buy-in from your leadership team or treating certification as a one-off project instead of the ongoing cultural shift that it really is. And getting that scope right from the very beginning, that is absolutely critical to avoid wasting a ton of time and effort. So, you've seen the path, you've seen the potential pitfalls. The good news here is you absolutely do not have to navigate this complex journey all on your own. This is where having an expert guide can be a total game changer. A partner who's been down this road before helps you define that scope correctly, helps you secure management buy-in, and helps you build a system that actually works for your business, which ultimately saves you a significant amount of time and money. And if you're ready to take that next step, well, here's how you can do it. Getting a consultation is honestly the best way to understand what this journey would look like for your unique situation. We'll just leave you with this one question to think about. As business becomes more and more digital, is your information security going to be a defensive liability, or is it going to be a competitive weapon? Really, the choice is yours.